New York Giants will be next. Michael Strahan and this owner of the Gold Jacket Hall of Famer, Harry Carson. Harry, you had the opportunity, obviously, playing with Lawrence Taylor, defensive, unstoppable force for the Giants, and one of the heroes of that team and of that franchise. His last year was Michael Strahan's first year. It seemed that the bar had been set.
Well, I think Michael learned a lot from Lawrence, but I think he also, and I'm pretty sure, the coaches that he had with the Giants sort of set the bar high for him to sort of follow in the footsteps of Lawrence Taylor. So, the Giant organization has had great players from the 50s until the present. And I think Michael Strahan fits in very well with the legacy of defense with the New York Football Giants.
Being around football players in my job, one thing I hear all the time is we just want to get better. We want to get better every play, want to get better every game. It took 5 years for Michael Strahan to become an All-Pro, and then he was an All-Pro like 5 of the next 8 years. He did get better every game.
Yeah, he worked at his craft. And, I think having gone to Texas Southern and, like Aeneas Williams going to Southern University, Claude Humphrey, Tennessee State University, these guys are made of something really, really special, having gone to those institutions, and they bring what they acquire at those institutions to the NFL level. And I think Michael Strahan has really represented the Giant organization, but also black college football tremendously.
Congratulations to the New York Giants organization. Another Hall of Famer coming.
Go Giants!
Harry Carson.
By a long shot. New York, New York. Now I know
Sprinted.
it is hard to believe, but before he was a television star, Michael Strahan was actually a pretty darn good football player. 15 years he anchored the defensive end for the New York Football Giants.
There's our boy!
Yeah!
22 and a half sacks in 2001 is an NFL record. He was Defensive Player of the Year that year. He also had 18 and a half sacks 2 years later. All told, 141 and a half sacks, 5th all time. Those sacks include,
so far,
in 64 different quarterbacks. Hello.
64.
In the storied history of the Giants,
Reed was the best one so far.
Played as many games, 216.
Nice to see him catch one more from Jim Kelly, too.
And being defensive captain
They've got
for the 2007 G-Men, won the Super Bowl by upsetting the undefeated Patriots.
Oh, yeah! I remember that! I remember that!
Being his final game, that would be a storybook ending. Nope. That ending comes tonight.
Yeah.
Michael is being presented tonight by his longtime friend, Jake Lacy.
These days, makes millions of people smile, laugh. Don't let the gap of smiles fool you. For 15 years, he made a bad afternoon for people lining up across him. He got this Jekyll and Hyde thing about him. The world has no idea about it. When he flips that switch, he's a different human being.
I don't want the end out. We don't know that much physical. That's what we don't get.
Once he clicked over, you were done.
Few players have thrived in the spotlight quite like Michael Strahan, known for his bigger-than-life persona off the field. he was a ruthless competitor on it.
Michael Strahan was great because he was nastier, he was tougher, he was more resilient than everybody else.
Welcome home, man.
I walked through that tunnel on that field to find that other guy in me. That other guy was looking to pick a fight.
I told you I was coming. I told you.
Nobody owned that trench better than Michael. We know about the pass rush accolades. 22 and a half sacks 1 year.
That's a new record, Michael Strahan.
18 and a half sacks a couple years later. As good as he was against the pass, I wish there were stats for how many times a running back walked over to his coach and said, "Coach, you got to change the game plan. We can't run against that guy."
A 7-time Pro Bowl and the 2001 AP Defensive Player of the Year, Strahan remains 5th all-time in career sacks, but his gaudy numbers were only part of the story.
Good players put up great stats for themselves. Great players make everybody else around them better. He knew if you were going to go run,
Yeah, I got in there. He came out. I knew it was a run.
pass, snap count.
He dropping that hand when he about to get that ball, man.
That's what the great ones do. If you watch Michael, he's the last one to get down in that stance. Kind of turns his head, stands up, 2-point stance, looks down the line. He got you all figured out.
You tell him he got to run that ball to our right. If it don't work over here, dude.
Over the span of a couple of quarters, guys would just start to break down. They couldn't deal with it. They didn't understand Michael's brilliance. As great of a player as he was an even better leader.
You all I got. I'm all you got.
One of his teammates said, "We don't walk to that tunnel until he walks out that door." Think about that. 52 other men waiting for him to walk out through that locker room. That is a leader of men.
That leadership spoke
His last official,
16 and 1
his last official sack, his stat is a sack in the Super Bowl.
on Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's why he retired. He goes, "Where do you go? Where do you go? My last stat is a sack in the Super Bowl. Where do you go?"
The Hall of Fame, that's
Now
eternity.
the champion.
Yeah,
It's greatness for your ultimate
And it's on
legacy.
Tom Brady,
It's
so
for your
that'll be a
kids,
little
for your
bit
grandkids.
yeah. Number
With that, I'm
64.
honored to present my friend, my brother, Michael Strahan, for enshrinement.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Michael Strahan.
Woo!
Enshrinement into the Pro Bowl
Woo!
game, Jay Glazer.
Whoa! That's awesome. It's got the gap. It's got the gap. It's been a long night.
I gotta say, I don't think any of us knew what to expect this weekend, but this has been the best weekend of my life. I will thank you. And I know that all the Hall of Famers, they've been keeping timers on everybody. And they're like, it's really getting late past our bedtime. I'm a morning guy, past mine too. But I promise I'm gonna get you out of here before, instead of they consider us the 2014 class, they will consider us the 2015 class. We've been up here a long time. We're gonna get out of here. And you gotta thank the Hall of Fame. You gotta thank the trustees. I gotta thank my classmates. I mean, Derek, Walter, Aeneas, Claude,
Jeez.
Ray, just absolutely amazing. I'm honored to be in this class because you guys epitomized class, and I think this is right where I belong. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. And to my friend Jay Glazer, who I've known for 21 years, you know me better than anybody. You treated me better than anybody at times and worse than anybody at times. And that's why I love you, and that's why you're here, because you know the way I played the game, you know why I played the game. And there's nobody better here to present me than you. So I love you, and thank you, Mr. Glazer. So I know my life now is like teleprompters and scripts and all that stuff, and I just wrote some things. This is from the heart. This is not TV Michael, this is football Michael. This is what you saw on that screen.
Yeah! Thank you!
And life is about lessons. And my life is improbable. I am an absolutely improbable Hall of Famer. I'm an improbable football player. Because I didn't grow up saying I'm going to do this. You have certain moments in your life that change your life. And I'm going to go to when I was 13 years old. I'm the youngest of 6. I got my sister Sandra here, my sister Deborah, my brother Gene Senior Jr., my brother Chris, my brother Victor. I'm the youngest of 6. I'm the one that gets beat up. I'm the one that gets abused. And I was 13 years old. And I must say, I was a husky kid. I called it Big Bone. Big Bone, Harry. I was a husky Big Bone. And they made fun of me. Bob, right? You got it? You know about Bob, right? Well, everybody doesn't know about Bob, but what ain't gonna talk about Bob because it still hurts me to talk about it, but I'll talk about it since you know it. My brothers called me Bob, and Bob meant booty on back. They say, everybody get their wallet like that, you just grab yours like that. So I was a husky kid. But at 13 years old, I realized this, for the first time, this is when I can take something and I can own it. I can change the course of action in my life. If there's something I don't like, I can change it. So as every 13-year-old kid in Mannheim, Germany does, or every 13-year-old kid here who wants to get in shape, I went out and got some Jane Fonda tapes. Oh, I ain't lying, Marcus Allen, I got Jane Fonda tapes. And I was high kicking and side kicking, I was doing it all. And then I graduated. I graduated to the Herschel Walker workout book. Push-ups and sit-ups. And my dad saw this. And my father, Dad, I don't even know what to say about you because he's the most amazing, amazing man. Retired major for the U.S. Army.
There he is. God bless you.
82nd Airborne Division Master Paratrooper. And more so than any of that, one hell of a father. Because my dad saw me doing that. My dad said, you know what? Let's work out. Start working out with me. We go to the gym. We do everything. He would read his magazine and he would come up with these programs. And he didn't know anything about, he was a boxer. He didn't know about the weightlifting part, but muscle and fitness or whatever it was that he took these programs out. I can't read one to this day because of that. And I remember being in the gym and I didn't want to be there. And my dad looked at me and said, son, one day it'll pay off. And Dad, I gotta say, it paid off. It really did. And even when he said that, I didn't know what he meant because I was trying to work off Bob. I wasn't trying to be a football player. I'm in Germany. It's the last thing. It's improbable that I am going to be a football player of any type. And my dad would take me to the gym and beat me down. Take me to the woods and make me run. Every morning in the summer, 5:30, I'm running in the woods while the kids are sleeping. And then I come home to the sweetest mama that you could ever ask for, Louise Strahan. And mama, you know your baby love you. I love every time, even now at 42 years old, I come home and you cook my favorite cookies and my favorite cake and every meal that I love. There's nothing like a mother's love, and I'm not ashamed to say that I'm a mama's boy.
Word up. He doesn't count. He speaks professionally.
So, all these years, I'm working out with my dad. Bob has slimmed up. I'm feeling good about myself. And my dad said, you know what? You're going to Houston. You're going to play football. with your you're gonna stay with your Uncle Arthur. He's played 7 years in the NFL. You're gonna get a scholarship. I was naive. Okay. I hop on a plane, go to Houston, stay with my Uncle Arthur, who was, 7 years in the NFL. Uncle Ray used to take me in the front yard and beat me down to try to teach me the game of football. I had no idea what I was doing. But the improbable happened. I got a scholarship to Texas Southern University.
Where's that band?
Now at TSU, I played under Coach Walter Highsmith, Coach J.W. Harper, Coach Conway Heyman, and Coach C.L. Whittington. And I'm not going to go too deep into all these things, right now, but I just want to say it was perfect for me. I didn't get swallowed up. I had coaches who cared about me, who loved me. And the thing that I learned most at Texas Southern, I had to grow up. And they taught me that. And they taught me at the perfect moment, because I ended up going to the scariest city that I could ever imagine, New York City.
Yeah, we're evil.
And I went there because the improbable happened again. I get drafted by the New York freaking Giants. Yeah, baby. The football Giants.
Yeah, baby.
And not only by the Giants, but I get drafted by Wellington Mara.
Ooh.
Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, for all you young kids who may not know about Wellington Mara, whenever you get a football, a real serious NFL football, you look on it, it says the Duke.
Why does it say that?
That man drafted me.
That's right.
Bob Tisch, the Tisch family, and the great and late George Young.
Yeah.
Those are the guys who brought me and trusted me enough to bring me to the
that's
Giants.
why it says the Duke on the official NFL football. It's from Mr.
With the Tisch family, Mr. Tisch, as a rookie, I hurt my foot. I'm doing a sack dance against Cincinnati and hurt my foot. Yeah, I finally admitted it. I never admitted that. I always said I heard it on the play, but it was doing the sack dance. Get it out. And every day to go from the field to the field house, or the field house to the field for practice, I was on crutches. It was a long way. After about 2 weeks of this, a car pulls up, door opens, guy tells me to get in. Bob Tisch. And every day until I was off those crutches, he drove me to and from practice. And I was a rookie who had done nothing for this man's team. And that developed a friendship with him that lasted until he passed away. So in the spirit of that, their kids, John Mara and Steve Tisch, have continued in that spirit of realizing that the team is a family.
Yeah.
It's not about this or that, it's about a team. It's about all of us being one. It's about all of us understanding that we're all in this together. There's no ownership. It's all on this one level. And it made me the best, because I realized even after they were no longer with us, they were always watching me. And I want to say to the Tisch family and the Mara family and the John and Steve, that all those times you told me how proud your fathers were of me, how proud they would be of me, how much they loved me, it didn't go in one ear and out the other. That meant the world to me. And I am so honored to represent the G-Man family here today.
Thank you. That's one thing you Buffalo guys got right, too. It's a family.
Now, I was crazy enough to play 15 years. And fortunate enough to play 15 years. And over those 15 years, I played over three generations of players. Now, the first generation, Ernie Accorsi, George Young, Dan Reeves, Mike Nolan, and Earl Leggett.
Ooh.
Dan Reeves, the head coach.
That's some
Mike Nolan
stuff.
was the defensive coordinator. Earl Leggett was my defensive line coach.
Earl was great.
And Earl Leggett was the kind of coach you had, but you wish you had. He would work you so much that you had him, but you wish he was gone, so you could have said, I had it. He worked you. He said, I'm going to test your bloodline. I'm going to test what your mama's made of, your grandmama, your great-grandmama, your pappy, and everybody that's going to come after you, son. And he did it. But he also did that to the great Howie Long. So I had a role model. I had somebody I looked at and said, that's who I can be. Earl taught you that in football, there are no finesse players. At least in where I came from. I watched the tape and I'm running into guys and I was not a big guy. But one thing that Earl put inside of me and put into my head from the beginning, in football, son, you can be finesse all you want, but eventually you're gonna have to hit somebody. And for that, I'll never forget. I'll never forget that. And that's the way I lived my entire career. So I want to thank Earl. I want to thank his wife, Bobby, for letting us have Earl at the time that we had him when he was here with us. And Earl, you know, rest in peace. I know you're proud. And I know you're looking down on me right now. And then I walk in the locker room. Who's in the locker room? LT's in the locker room. Phil Sims is in the locker room. Woo! O.J. Anderson's in the locker room. I mean, I'm like, man, I saw these guys when I was 6 years old. They still here? But I learned something. Life of lessons. I learned lessons along the way. Phil Sims, I learned. First one in, last one to leave. Nothing's easy. You got to work for it. O.J. Anderson, I learned. O.J. Anderson and Michael Brooks, who I know is at home watching right now, who's struggling with some health issues. Michael, you helped me more than I could ever repay you, my friend. Because you took me under your wing as well as O.J. Anderson as a rookie. And you showed me that no matter what year you are in this league, you're valuable. We need you. We're a team. Don't go out and trust that you hear that somebody's a great player. You play against them and you make your own judgment. Some of the first lessons I was told by these guys. And I thank them for taking me under their wing. And then there was LT. When I was a rookie, I was scared of you. And now I'm retired and I'm up here with you with this yellow jacket, I'm still scared of you. But one thing I can say about Lawrence Taylor is everyone knows he's a great football player and everyone knows he's a great athlete because he watched the games. But if you watch the practice, you understand why. Taking scout team plays, running 100 miles per hour every single play he's on that field. That's how I learned how a real pro practices. That's what I learned from you. But I also learned that it's okay to sleep in meetings sometimes. Even though you did it all the time.
Said thank you.
Then I had the next generation. I had my head coach, Jim Fossil, who I know Jim Fossil, you here.
Where is he?
Jim Fossil.
Where's Jim? Where's Jimmy?
I had my defensive coordinator, John Fox.
There's Jim.
Jim! My man. You changed up your entire schedule with your
There's John Fox.
To be here for me tonight, and I'll never forget it. I appreciate you. Thank you. And then I had Denny Marshall, my defensive line coach.
Oh, he was
who
good
here
too.
Somewhere as well. And one thing I learned under these guys, well, you can be tough, you can run through these guys, you can be physical, but you can have fun doing it. And fun we had. We had a lot of fun. And in this era, this is where I felt like it became my team. This is the guy, you know, LT had retired. All these guys that I came in with, who I learned under, had retired. It became my team. This was my team with Amani Toomer, with Tiki Barber, Kerry Collins, Cedric Jones, Robert Harris. And we went to the Super Bowl. We were the Super Bowl team. Had the one and only Keith Hamilton.
Hammer time.
And last but not least, we had my man. The one guy who came in with me in my draft class, Mr. Jesse Armstead.
Oh, yeah.
Jesse! And
8th round
Jesse and I used to stand in the tunnel before every game.
There he is! Woo!
There you go, Jack. I see you on that big screen, man. There he is. Thank you for being here for me. And Jesse would stand in the tunnel with me and we'd look at each other and we'd say, you and me. because we knew we had to be the leaders out there for this team. And a lot of guys have to go into games and do that alone. And all I gotta say is I never had to because I had Jesse Armstead by me. So Jesse, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jesse.
He looks good.
He looks real good.
Then we moved on. You know, the last generation. And in this generation, I was the old guy. In football terms, I was old. But I gotta say, these are the guys that brought me a Super Bowl.
That's right. I remember that.
It was the generation of head coach Tom Coughlin.
Woo!
Defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo.
Steve.
My defensive line coach Mike Waffle.
Yeah.
And I think it's no secret that Tom Coughlin and I did not see eye to eye when he came to New York. But we finally realized we both had the same goal, and that was to win. It wasn't about ego. And I want to say that he taught me so many things about responsibility, accountability, how to be a better teammate, even though I thought I was a good teammate, about how to be a man, about how to be 5 minutes early to a meeting. When the meeting starts at 8, just tell me 7:55, don't tell me it starts at 8. That one I still don't get, I ain't gonna lie. But you made me a better man, Coach Coughlin. You gave me a lesson that transcends anything, or will carry with me well past my football career, and carry with me actually every day that I go forward now. So I love you, and I thank you for trusting me to be a leader on your football team.
You know,
Here in this, I have to throw out some offensive guys out there. You know, Sean O'Hara, Brandon Jacob, Derek Ward, David Deal, Chris Steve, Plaxico Burris, David Tyree in his helmet.
yeah!
Yeah, his helmet.
That's good.
And last but not least,
Where's Eli?
Eli.
Eli!
Go and tap and touch and hand high five and pep talk every player, equipment guy, coach. The reason I did it was because each time I touch each guy, I'm accountable to you. What I put out there in that field today is not for me, it's for you. You will never be disappointed in me. That's why I did it. And I would give guys pep talk. You gotta run big today, baby. You gotta bring it. Yeah!
There's
Then I see Eli just sitting in his locker, just like he's sitting over there.
Oh, man.
How am I gonna reach this boy? And I realized I didn't have to. He was already reached. So when I went to Eli, instead of all that, I would go from yeah to take off. I'd shake his hand and smile and say, have fun, young man. Have fun. And with you, Eli, I learned you don't have to be outwardly excited to be internally combustible to go out there and whip some people on the football field. You have the perfect demeanor for New York City, I will tell you that. Now, when it came to the defensive side of the ball, we had a few guys that you know, OC, Human York, Justin Tuck, Brett Roberts, Dave Collison, Pee-wee. My ace, Antonio Pierce, who's here right now.
Yeah!
And who would have thought that the last game that I played was going to be with these guys, because we were like a vagabond group of players. And it was going to be to hoist the Lombardi Trophy. the last game that I was out there in the New York Giants. And before we had the opportunity to do that, it was improbable that was going to happen. It was improbable. I'm getting ready for the game. During the week, we're getting ready. And everybody's excited, and I'm telling the guys, calm down. I've been in the Super Bowl, and we lost. Okay? Just relax. Have a good time. Enjoy yourself. But, stay focused. Well, the guys took it a little too much to heart. They were having too good of a time. But I couldn't tell them to pull it back because I told them to have a good time. So I'm nervous. And we get into breakfast the morning of the Super Bowl, and I put some eggs on the plate. And OC comes up to me and he goes, Michael, if we don't get to Tom Brady today, we ain't gonna win this game. And I looked at him and said, you learn how to read the paper? Tell me something I didn't know. He said, then he looked at me again as I went to get some way. He grabbed me and said, no, if we don't get to Tom Brady today, we're not gonna win this game.
Believe in it!
Yeah.
Again, it was improbable. It was improbable. We couldn't be the 18-0 team. We barely made it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was improbable.
Yeah.
But it was not impossible. So, not only did we win, we stomped them. Improbability. And I want to thank a lot of my teammates I didn't get a chance to name, and a lot of coaches, and a lot of the trainers, and the doctors, and everybody. Glad that I was able to be, that they were able to be a part of my football life and my football journey, and I hope that it was great for them, for me to be a part of theirs. Because anybody who thinks that we're up here by ourselves because of ourselves, we're fooling ourselves. This is about family. This is about teammates. This is about everybody pitching in to make you better, and for you, hopefully, to make them better. And there are a lot of friends out there that I learned from, and a lot of times you get up here and you thank your teammates, and that's all you learn from. But that's not the truth. I learned from a lot of guys up here. I was a late bloomer as a football player. I didn't play in high school. I played 1 year in high school. I was a late bloomer. So I had to watch and learn from guys. And there is one legend who's here with us right now who I learned so much from, and that's Howie Long. And Howie, I gotta tell you, I watched so much film of you from Earl that if you put you and every D lineman up here on stage, you bent over, I can look at your butt and say, that's Howie Long. And I've seen it so much, man. I learned so much from you, Howie, and I'm indebted to you, and I'm so fortunate to look at you every weekend during the season and look next to my brother, and I love you. Thank you. And the other legend that is not here, who I met when I was a rookie, and he took me under his wing, and I wish he was still here with us, is the one and only, the original sackmaster, Mr. Deacon Jones. And I gotta say, Deacon, I love you, my friend. Love you, Deacon. Thank you. And as a late bloomer, I watched a lot of guys. There's so many guys that are up here I want to acknowledge, because I'm not me without you. I looked at your style that I took from you. I had to learn from being visual. And the late Reggie White was someone I had to learn from.
Wow.
John Randall, I read a story about you in the grocery store doing pass rush moves on shopping carts. I would do that. Chris Dolman, stole from you. Bruce Smith. Man, you made me ride a Stairmaster until I couldn't ride him anymore. And Bruce, I learned, man, as I got older, lose weight, prolong your career. You taught me so much, and I love watching each and every one of you guys, and I am a mixture of all of you. So as I stand up here, it's not Michael Strahan, it's you guys. You guys are right here. You guys are me. and I truly am you. So I am indebted to you guys. Thank you. And you got to thank some of your opponents because they make you better. And I'm going to be honest, there are two guys who made me so much better. One was the meanest guy I've ever played against in my life.
John Runyon.
I don't think the guy even liked his mama. And that was Eric Williams from the Dallas Cowboys. And Eric, I hope you're watching because he taught me this. We're in a game, we're losing, I'm mad, and I can't wait to the next game against Eric Williams and the Cowboys. Actually, I could, but I was a little scared of him, but I was just upset. So I was saying, Eric, when we get back next game, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this. And he calmly looked me in the face, and he said, you know what? Okay. Sometimes you just got to learn to take this butt with it like a man. And I learned. I didn't want to take any more butt whipping, so I better get better. And so, Eric, I thank you for that. And the other, may surprise a lot of people, is John Runyon.
Yeah. And Runyon.
Philadelphia Eagles. And John, I know you're here, Congressman Runyon.
Yep.
I know you flew in to support me. There you go, big guy. Why don't you stand up so they can see you?
There he is.
6'9", 350 pounds of twisted skill and non-sex appeal. And, you know, John, you made me a student of the game. I'm going to talk directly to you. You made me a student of the game, man. When you went to the Eagles from Tennessee, it made me mad because I felt like they brought you to stop me. And it really bothered me. You made me learn to be a student, to study my opponent, to learn my opponent better than they do themselves. And even though everybody thinks that, you know, I had so many battles against you and I was winning and everything, I was. But you won quite a bit of battles, man, and you were the toughest guy that I've ever had to face on a consistent basis. And you made me a much better football player. And after watching these films and you don't play anymore, your right foot gave away everything you were gonna do. But I love you, John Runyon. Now, and it's so funny is that now a lot of people who are probably here watching this show and probably here in person, a lot of them, especially the younger generation, probably don't even realize I actually played football. And it's not, I don't look at it as a slight, I look at it as a compliment. And I think it actually complements the game of football. Because it just goes to show what football can do for you. What football can do for anybody. And for what the game of football has done for me, I am eternally grateful to this game. I am eternally grateful to this game. And as I say, it's all so improbable. And, you know, I got to say some thanks out there. It's hard not to throw a lot of thanks out there to my Fox family. Of course, Howie, Terry, Jimmy, Kurt, Jay Glazer, and all the guys over there at Fox. To my ABC family, I want to thank them for coming out to support me. My TV wife, Kelly Ripa. Thank you, baby. Everybody. Yeah, Kelly! Where's Kelly? Well, there she is, people. She's here. And to the one and only Robin Roberts. Robin, thank you for coming out here to support me.
Awesome.
And over the years, as I moved to New York, you know, my family was in Germany when I was in New York. So I didn't have a lot of, my parents weren't there. I had to meet new friends who all have become my family. So really quickly, I just want to say, my friend Gene Wolfson, without you, my friend, I don't know where I'd be. So I gotta say Gene Wolfson, my friend Ian Smith, and brother Dana, thank you guys. The Hochfelders, Kenneth and Maria, the Sanders family. Harvey, you've been so good to me, thank you. The Randalls, the Coopers, the Ravens, my girl Tracy Perlman. And of course my Smack family is Jose and especially Constance Swartz, who is my sister and my partner in crime, and who has keeps me on the straight and narrow. So Constance, I love you. You are like everything to me. And I'm your brother. I'm your brother from another mother. I don't need that page anymore. I'm done with it. And I got to thank my agent, Tony Agnon, for
boy, there's a name.
doing right by me. I appreciate you, Tony. And mostly, very fortunate to play this game and very fortunate to be up here in front of you. But there is no football. There is no Hall of Fame. There is nothing without the fans. Nothing without you. We have nothing. You gotta realize that. I don't care if you're a Giants fan, a Bills fan, a Ravens fan, I don't care what kind of fan you are a football fan, and for that, I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say thank you. We appreciate you. We applaud you.
There you go, kid. Yeah.
And in closing this up, I want to say, the most important motivation for me throughout my career and even now in my life is it's never been tackles, it's never been accolades, it's never been notoriety, it's never been money or Super Bowls or anything like that. It's these four people. And I want them to stand up. My daughter Tanita, my son Michael Jr., and my twins Isabella and Sophia.
Yeah.
My baby. My beautiful baby. Now, I just want you, and I hope, and this has always been my hope for my kids, because I love them more than anything, is that I showed you and that you've learned that improbability means nothing, because anything is absolutely possible.
Yeah.
Anything is possible.
Right. Yep.
And of all the titles that I have, from everything you can name, the most important title I'm most proud of is Michael Strahan, your father. Plain and simple. And in closing, I want to thank these guys up here with me. I want to thank you all for being here, for all of your patience. And I'm so glad that I'm a representative of the 2014 NFL Hall